Hello everyone and welcome to episode 25 of my Milwaukee Bucks MyGM on the Xbox One here on Klein92 TV, and this is the final episode of this series, and the point of this episode is to find out what would happen to the Milwaukee Bucks if I were to continue playing as them, and the only way to find that out is to simulate the next 3 seasons and find out if the Bucks could win the NBA Finals. You can see I made some changes to our coaching staff. The new head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks is Rasheed Wallace. So we now have 2 ex-players as coaches on our team. We have Rasheed Wallace and Kevin Garnett. You can see I traded away both of our draft picks for the Cavaliers' first round pick next year. In free agency, I'm only showing you guys the free agents that we signed. We signed Joakim Noah, who isn't that good anymore because of his age. We also signed Orlando Johnson, and look at where the big name free agents went. Lance Stevenson goes to the Lakers, DeRozan goes to the Magic, OJ Mayo, the ex-Milwaukee Bucks, signs with the Nets, and last but certainly not least, Kevin Durant signs with the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are going to be a dominant team. They have lost Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, but now they have Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard on the same team, 2 of the best small forwards in the entire league. So first I'm going to simulate all the way up to the All-Star break just to see how we fare, and I get this call from the Rockets, and they offer us Noah Vonleh for Paul Gasol and 2 draft picks, and this is a great trade for us. Paul Gasol is only getting older, and I think he only has 1 or 2 years left on his contract, and Noah Vonleh is a great young player that can only really improve. So I accept that trade. Heading into the playoffs, here are your awards. LeBron James wins another MVP award. Anthony Davis gets the Defensive Player of the Year. Kemba Walker gets the 6th man for some reason, and I have no idea how he won that award because he should be starting on the Bobcats. Heading into the playoffs, we are the 4th seed, and we are playing the Detroit Pistons again. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row where we will face them in the playoffs. We take 3 out of the first 4 games, and we end up knocking them out in 5 games. The next round of the playoffs will be up against the 8th-seeded Charlotte Bobcats. The Bobcats were somehow able to beat the number 1-seeded Boston Celtics. We take 3 out of the first 4 games again. Heading into Game 5, I'm ready to simulate it, and we win that game, so we are heading to the Eastern Conference Finals. In the Eastern Conference Finals, we will be facing the Chicago Bulls, and we lucked out. The Miami Heat lost to the Bulls, so this is our chance to make it to an NBA Final since we do not have to deal with the Heat. I simulate the first 4 games, and we go 3-1 again. Our team is just on a roll. I simulate Game 5, and we are heading to the NBA Finals, but look who we are facing. We are facing the Houston Rockets, who actually beat us in the NBA Finals 2 years ago. So I simulate the first 4 games, and we split the first 4. It is 2-2. It's going to come down to these last 3 games. Game 5 on the road, we come out with a 3-point win over the Rockets. Game 6, we win that one as well, so the Milwaukee Bucks have won an NBA championship. It's not as sweet as actually playing it and winning it, but I am happy that the Bucks were at least able to win a championship regardless. Your finals MVP was Jabari Parker, who averaged around 19 points per game. Looking at the retirements, the 2 big retirements are Dirk Nowitzki and Manu Ginobili, and it only gets better from here. You guys remember that I traded for the Cavaliers' first round pick? That ends up turning into the 6th pick of the entire draft, and although that is a good pick, I am playing with auto-generated rookies. I don't want an auto-generated rookie on my team, so I'm going to trade away that pick and Jimmer Fredette for Jimmy Butler, who is a really good shooting guard, and our team was in need of a shooting guard, especially because Brandon Knight decided to test free agency. Speaking of free agency, we were able to sign Devin Harris and Rodney Stuckey to our team, 2 really good players to have off the bench, and we also signed David Lee for a 1-year deal. He is getting up there in age, but he's still a nice player regardless. So the Bucks' new starting 5 is Darren Williams, Jimmy Butler, Jabari Parker, Noah Vonleh, and Larry Sanders. Looking at the big name free agents, James Harden goes to the Jazz, Derrick Rose signs with the Knicks, that's just crazy, and Brandon Knight ends up signing with the Chicago Bulls, so there are only 2 original Milwaukee Bucks players on the roster anymore, and those are Larry Sanders and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Heading into the 2018 season, I simulate all the way to the end of the season. Your MVP was Kevin Durant, now on the Spurs. Sheldon Bayless was the Rookie of the Year. The Defensive Player of the Year was Derek Favors. Most Improved was another auto-generated rookie, and the Coach of the the year was Rasheed Wallace. We are the #1 seed in the playoffs, and I am confident that we have a chance of going all the way and winning 2 NBA Finals in a row. So our first opponent is the 8th-seeded Indiana Pacers. We win 3 games, and we sweep them in just 4 games. The Pacers were just embarrassed in that series. Now we face the 5-seeded Brooklyn Nets, who are definitely improved. They do have OJ Mayo now, but it does not matter. We sweep them as well. And look who we are facing in the Eastern Conference Finals. We are facing the Miami Heat in the playoffs for the 3rd time. So far, we have beat them once in the playoffs, and they have beaten us once in the playoffs. So this is kind of like the tiebreaker. The first 4 games are split. Game 5 at home, we win, and now we need to win Game 6 on the road to move on to the NBA Finals, and we win that game. So we are facing the Portland Trailblazers in the NBA Finals, and look at this, we get swept by the Trailblazers. I have no idea how that happened. We were on such a roll in this playoff run. We swept 2 teams in a row. We even beat the Heat, so I thought beating the Trailblazers would be easy. I have no idea how we lost to them. The only good player they really have right now is Damian Lillard, because LaMarcus Aldridge signed with another team. Looking at the coaching staff, you can tell that I did not make that many changes to it, but one change I did make was fire the assistant head coach, Kevin Garnett, and I signed Shane Battier as his replacement. We did not have any draft picks, so we did not draft anybody, and in free agency we only signed one player, and that was Aaron Aflalo, and he's going to be coming off the bench. We still have the same starting 5, and I'm showing you guys some of the big free agency moves. Damian Lillard signed with the Timberwolves, and Carmelo Anthony teamed up with Paul George in Indiana. The Pacers could be a dominant team this year. So I'm going to simulate to the end of Season 3, the last season that we will be simulating. LeBron James wins the MVP award again, and there were so many players that won awards that I had never heard of. One guy that I did know about was Monty Williams. He led the Pelicans to the #1 seed in the West, and he was awarded with the Coach of the Year award. You can see that we are the 2nd-seeded team in the East, but Jabari Parker will not be playing throughout the entire playoffs because of a torn MCL. So I simulate the first 4 games up against the 7th-seeded 76ers, and they sweep us. We've been swept in the playoffs 2 years in a row right now. The finals matchup ends up being the Kings versus the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets win in 7 games. So 2 ex-Bucks players actually did end up winning a championship, and those 2 players are Goran Dragic and OJ Mayo, who are members of the Brooklyn Nets. So that will conclude the Milwaukee Bucks MyGM series on this channel. It is officially finished. I hope you guys had a fun time watching this series, and I had a very fun time making it, and I feel like this series was just better quality compared to my past Madden series, and that is basically the goal of my channel, to improve with every single series that I create. So the next video on my channel will be a part of my Madden 15 series, and I bet you guys are wondering which team I will be playing as in that series. So here is the official reveal. The team that I will be playing as in my Madden 15 series is the New York Jets. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that series. I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video. Be sure to have a great day. God bless you guys. Bye.